Hello, and welcome to my podcast, Pulling Back the Curtain with Vinny Ali. Today's topic is going to be about the convention route, or the con route. Now, I've been asked, by myself and many other people, do I want to be mainstream famous like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Tom Hardy, Meryl Streep, or I don't really know if I want that. I mean, yeah, it's great. Tons of opportunities to work with great, successful people. Of course, the money, the fame, the travel, but the fame is what inhibits me from wanting to go that far. So I wondered to myself, would I rather go the con route like Sir Patrick Stewart or Casper Van Diem, Carrie Elways, Steve Blum? I mean, people that know who they are and appreciate them. And I think that kind of visceral love from a certain group of people is what more I seek. It's more like when your family recognizes your greatness. Alan Tudyk, another example of a con man, was in a TV show, coincidentally, kind of intentionally called Con Man. The idea is that Alan Tudyk's character plays a character on a TV show that's very, very successful. But it only opens doors for conventions and more B-movie, B-TV shows for that one role he was famous for. And I just always thought it was interesting. You know, they had wonderful guest stars on there like Lou Ferrigno, Sir Patrick Stewart, Nathan Fillion, people that too have felt the sting of success by having one role that they are remembered for forever and a day. However, with Sir Patrick Stewart, what I find most interesting is he is a Shakespearean actor, a world-renowned, respected Shakespearean actor, yet everyone knows him as Jean-Luc Picard. When I was a kid, Mom would say, "You see that man right there? He is a Shakespearean actor. He commands his words. Look to the great, son, if you want to be great." I think she knew deep down I was going to be an actor, just by why she always pushed me into trying to get him into theater and everything. But I was like, I'm already a freak. I'm already a nerd. Do I really want to be that much of a nerd? Oh, here we are. So I guess we got our answer, Mom. Love you. So when I go to conventions, it's a gathering of fans, artists, celebrities, up-and-coming celebrities, YouTubers, anyone that has art that they wish to share with the world, and you get to meet the person. Now, there are two camps. There's the camps that know what they're like, and the camps that only know what they know from their TVs and movies referencing them. Both are correct. There are super fans, hardcore fans that come through there that dress to the nines in their best reproduction of whatever they see on TV or anime and TV and movies, which is fantastic. There are some that just, like me, I wear a Batman shirt and I'm good to go. But what's cool about it is all walks of life come through that door for a unified experience of joy, enlightenment, catharsis for some. For me, it's always a bit of everything. It's cathartic because I get to meet the voices that shaped my life, that allowed me to feel things I don't normally get to feel. And for that, I'm, eternally grateful for. When I met my favorite voice actor, Kevin Conroy, a.k.a. Batman, from Batman the Animated Series to Arkham Asylum the video game to every iteration where you find a wonderfully performed animated version of Batman, Kevin was behind it. He was the voice in my head whenever I wasn't sure about things growing up. And I learned that I can overcome things if I just plan it out. I'm a huge problem solver. I love getting into the thick of chaos and just figuring out how to make it all work and make it look effortless. My mom first got me onto that. And then Batman really got me more into it because he was always prepared. He always had an answer. And when I met Kevin, He introduced himself. He was very kind and gracious and very tall. I was very pleasantly surprised how tall he was. And I'm silly. I had him sign my copy of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes because the world's greatest detective, signing a book about the world's greatest detective, felt like a really fun idea. And I was cool. I was confident. I had my buddy Colin Kittler with me, and I was just like, I thanked him for sharing his gift with us. He explained that comic books are the modern times Greek mythologies that teach us right from wrong and morals and empathy. And what I connect with Kevin is he believed that Batman is the most empathetic hero out there. He would put his life on the line before anyone else feels an ounce of pain because he knows what pain is. One thing I've been kicking around my mind is good men cannot imagine the evil of wicked men, but great men can because they've experienced pain, misery, sadness, revenge, and they know the consequences. So they can imagine what the evil, the wicked men can do and know what to do when it comes up. I walk away smiling ear to ear like a kid at school for the first day. And I thought to myself, oh crap, I forgot to ask him my question. I always ask actors, what got you into acting? Or do you have any advice? And I do that because I don't want to be the guy that's like, Mr. Conroy, in episode 4 of BTS, season 7, I don't want to be that guy. I want to ask these actors real questions because they are actors first. I go up to the Q&A, and there's actually a video of me asking the question. You can't see me, but you see his answer. I ask him, what got you into acting? What was that thing that made you realize that this was right for you? He said, I started in private school, Catholic school, for many, many years. We moved, and then I was in public school, and I was very confused by how the other students were acting around the teachers and around themselves. And one day, my English teacher had us read monologues. They were reading Julius Caesar, and he did the Brutus speech. And the teacher came up to him and said, you know what? I think you should audition for the play, the school play, which is Our Town, which is a very, very popular show to do in high school because there's a lot of roles. And everyone else is just running around, screaming, skittering around the theater in the dark, waiting for the curtain to come up. And there's Kevin, he says. There I am, just standing there, waiting in anticipation. And when the curtain came up, it just felt like home. From there, he studied at Juilliard. Yeah, Kevin Conroy studied at Juilliard, and Batman was the first voice acting job he ever auditioned for. Andrea Romano, a famous voice acting director, directed him into understanding that there are two sides to this coin. There's Bruce Wayne, who is the mask, and then there's Batman, who he truly is. He not only understood that he needed to change the voices between the two, but the intention behind them. The mask was Bruce Wayne, but Batman was who he truly was. Yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd. I totally belong in the convention world. And that is why he's my favorite. Because he understood at the very core of all the gadgets and the fighting and this, that, and the other, the no-nonsense, the whole I don't give a fuck about you when it comes to the mission. He still cared about people. He still believed that people can improve and heal and move forward. And that's my goal in life, to heal and move forward. So those were the voices that got in my head when I was a kid. And as an adult, they're still there, but there's a bit new list of people that have gotten into my mind. First off, we have Vincent D'Onofrio from Law and Order fame and Full Metal Jacket and, well, a lot of great films. He was at one of the latest conventions I went to. It was WizardCon last year. And I asked him my question, what got you into acting? And he responded to me a little bit aggressively, which is the first time this has happened. He's like, you want to know what got me into acting? You want to know? I'm like, yes, I do want to know. And he says, I worked with my father on many vaudevillian plays. And the first time I was on stage, I was in clown makeup and I was a juggler. And I thought, I was like, cool. But why would he get so upset? And I don't know if it was, maybe I misinterpreted his upsetness because I think he's so used to people just asking him dumb questions about topographical questions. He can answer very easily, like, oh, what's your favorite role you've ever done? But no, I asked him like something that shook him and got his attention. Next, I met Mr. Alec Baldwin from Firefly fame. I asked him for advice, and he said, learn music. Pick up a guitar. Get out there. Live your life. And that was good. Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk, said to me, you got a good look, kid. You got a really interesting look. I've been told that a lot. I have a multi-ethnic looking face, let's just say. I met Tara Strong, one of the longest running voice actors that I've been one to enjoy since I was a young kid. She played Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls. Timmy Turner. She was in just a lot of stuff over the years. She's got a little raspy voice, and she is like smoking hot. BT dubs. Like, it's insane. She's such a great talent as a voice actress, and she's super hot. But I didn't let that deter me when I asked her my question and talked to her. And I told her that, you're one of my favorite voice actors. And she's like, what, one? Why am I not number one? And I apologetically looked at her and said, I'm sorry, but my favorite spot goes to the GOAT, Mr. Kevin Conroy. And she understood. She played opposite him as Harley Quinn for many, many projects. One thing she kept saying during her Q&A was, I am lucky. I am unbelievably lucky to be able to do this. After all the success, she didn't let it go to her head. She understood she still had to, sing for her meal. Sometimes literally. Another man that I thought was very interesting was Mr. Henry Winkler of, Happy Days fame. Hey, the Fonz. The man is way up in age. I actually got to read his book. It was very enjoyable. It was a biography about his life, how he was this very tiny, read the book. Listen to it on audio tape. It's pretty awesome. The reoccurring theme is he was gracious, still is to this day. I mean, the man is as old as Robert De Niro, but has never worked with him and has never quite achieved that mainstream notoriety. But yet he's still just gracious and grateful to work. It is empowering. But my cynical side says it's kind of sad too. I mean, you've done all this work. You're known worldwide, and yet you still are not mainstream famous like you should be. Or at least I think you should be after working all these years. The cards he was dealt, he plays them as best he can, and he's grateful for a seat at the table. And maybe that's how I got to live my life. I've been at this since I was 15 years old, and I've only gotten this far, but it's been very interesting up to this point. And I do believe it's going to change in 2.5 years at this point. Things will change. And it's because of you guys listening at home. So, let's move on, shall we? Chris Sabat, a.k.a. All Might from My Hero Academia, but from what I know him from is Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans. He shows up a lot on my Doom feed, just telling me that I need to keep going further, keep striving for more, because a man must have purpose in life, or else he remains purposeless and left behind. Yesterday, I had the great honor of meeting Mr. Steve Blum. Now, Steve Blum is well known for Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop, and that was one of his first really, really big roles he ever did. He has a very deep, melodic voice that is very, very easy to pick out of a crowd, I will say. But what's great about him is he is all about having an attitude of gratitude. I actually have him on my vision board. He's on the top of it. And the quote I chose from is this: I suppose the biggest thing I have learned is that I am in it for the right reasons. I love my job as much now as when I first began. I still feel fully invested in every audition, every job, large or small, every appearance, every meeting, every fan. That alone is the reason why I wouldn't mind being on the con route, the convention route, because he can touch so many people with just his words, his performance. And I showed it to him. And when I tell you he was grateful, he was. That is why he gets up in the morning and does what he does. Johnny Young Bosche gave me the same reason of why he does what he does. I asked him, why do you act? What got you into it? And he said, I don't know, except I like that I can connect with people. Johnny Young Bosche now knows that every time I watch Trigun, I remember why it's important to be kind and to give humility and grace to others when they are hurt. Because as a lot of people know, hurt people hurt people. And we should give them the grace to know that they don't need to do that, that it's okay to move forward. You think this is bad? This too shall pass. You think this is good? This too shall pass. So, learn to move forward, friends, family, and everyone else in between. What I gathered from the convention I went to yesterday, Too Many Games, is that you got to find your own path in life. Whether it's through mocap, motion capture, animation, where you wear a wetsuit with balls all over it, whether it's voice work where you're screaming at the top of your lungs and singing horrendous chords to make people laugh, dancing on the stage, or even shooting a gun on camera. Your art, your path is your path for a reason. And you have to keep your eyes open for the next one, because you never know where it's going to take you. Never in my wildest dreams did I believe I would make it to this point, doing a podcast of all things. Getting into the hip-hop game, it's insane. But it's my life, and I am just grateful for every moment of it. And it's just going to keep getting more interesting the older I get. As I always say, the older I get, the more interesting life gets. Until next time, kids, this is Pulling Back the Curtain with Vinny Ali. Thank you for your time.